Hello and welcome to Delirium Hour. Thank you for tuning in today. My name is Jonah and I'm joined by the usual suspects.
What's up, I'm Kent. Beat you to it.
Kent and Baron. So today we'll be talking about the Cape Crusader, the Dark Knight, the detective and detective comics, the Batman. We want to take this time to talk about Batman through cinema because we are hyped for that new movie.
Hyped. Oh,
The Batman in 2021. We'll see if it comes out.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Like, I know the guy has like he just contracted COVID and everything. So
Yeah.
I mean, the last time I read, it seems like he's good. So I hope.
Yeah, I
everything
think
goes
he's
good.
better again, right?
Right, I think so too. I mean, he was out like kissing someone in public, so I don't know what's going on.
Who
Right?
is that?
I mean,
His
they could just
girly
both have
friend?
COVID, so.
Yeah, it's like tabloids are like, oh, he's cured, but the truth is they just both have COVID now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Everyone probably has it at this point.
Yeah.
Don't say that.
Well, hopefully it comes out. But that trailer we
That
saw
trailer.
that came out during DC fandom, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
DC
And,
fandom, it was for people who don't know, I'm always an information guy. Is the DC's they held a virtual convention in place of Comic-Con being canceled. So they had like a virtual convention where they showcased like all the DC news. You know, the Snyder Cut was shown during DC fandom, and obviously the Matt Reeves Batman trailer was finally like revealed to the public. Like all that was on like August 22nd, and it shook the world. It shook the world. It shook my world. So
yeah, I'm pretty hyped for it. I thought it felt dark. It felt grounded, and Robert Pattinson just looks really good in that suit. It has serious detective vibes, and I'm really for this new Batman.
mm-hmm.
How about you guys?
Baron.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. No, I can't wait to see Batman. I don't want to say done right, because we've had a lot of really good Batman
We have.
in history, or Batman portrayals in like cinematic history.
Mhm.
But it would just be nice to see one go on for like a little bit longer. Like, I know with the Nolan trilogy, we just kind of expected it, but I really wanted to see a lot more Batflick too. Hopefully, if Pattinson's Batman does really well, we'll get to see him in a couple more movies.
I mean, I think like that's the plan, right? Like I think.
I mean, that was a plan for Batflick too, but then that didn't happen.
Well, fingers crossed he does a good job. I think just like you, Baron, like I've been just wanting a new, like not necessarily a trilogy, but just kind of like another little franchise. Like the last franchise we had that was like actually really solid was the Nolan franchise. You know,
Yeah.
we all had big hopes, like you said, for Batflick, and I'm not pointing fingers at anyone, but it kind of fell through. But
I'm sad for him though, but we'll talk about him later.
yeah, don't just remember all the sad Batfleck memes.
Yeah.
Like,
When they were doing like all the interviews.
I love that. I love seeing that. I felt bad for the guy though.
Yeah.
What else did you guys like about the trailer? I liked the new Batmobile, like seeing.
Yeah, it looks great.
Looks
Yeah.
so good. Like the best part about like getting like, I wish one Batman would stay, but you gotta admit there's so much fun in getting a new Batman every now and then, because they gotta like
Yeah.
redo it. You gotta see, oh my god, it's a new Batmobile. Oh, it's the new Batsuit. It's exciting because like the same thing happened when Batfleck had his like debut. Remember the
Yeah.
infamous I'm a sad
Mhm.
Batman picture with like the Batmobile in the back. It's iconic. I love that.
And there's always gonna be like, there's always this divide where it's like, oh, are you for the new actor? Are you not?
Right.
But then I
Yeah.
feel like every actor we've had for Batman has been pretty solid.
yeah.
No, I mean, it wasn't that long ago when they released the news that Pattinson was going to take over. Everyone was like, nah, dude, there's no way. And then look at it now. The
screw
trailer
that
got
theory.
released and everyone's like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
It's
I
because
feel
most
like-
people only saw him on Twilight.
Yeah.
They don't know. Like they haven't.
No,
even,
he's a good actor.
he's a great actor. Like they haven't
Yeah.
seen the other movies he's been involved in. All the indie, like small budget films he's been
Right.
in. Like the guy has some acting chops, and we saw Tenet, right? And
Yeah, he's
that
really
was
good
cool.
at Tenet.
Right. Like he
I was
has
going to
the
say, though,
chops.
I feel like this is kind of like the curse of a lot of comic book roles. Like, everyone kind of hated on Heath Ledger for
Mhm.
getting cast as the Joker in the first place, you know?
Mhm.
Even Joaquin Phoenix got some flack I think he got like quite a bit of flack for getting selected, I guess,
Mhm.
too. But it is what it is. We've seen the movies and they're all like amazing. So
Yeah, people don't know what they're talking about.
exactly,
Have you seen Robert Pattinson lately? He's been on fire.
he's been
Yeah.
killing it.
He's been like in a bunch of different projects and everything. Like I just
Yeah.
feel like he kind of, like after the whole Twilight series thing, like he was a pretty mainstream actor, and then like I said, he kind of fell away from the mainstream spotlight. Did a lot of independent, smaller budget films, but it's kind of cool because you're kind of seeing like a resurgence in him. Like you see him, you're seeing him a lot more in mainstream movies. Like there's that
Yeah.
Netflix movie, with Tom Holland that
The
he's
devil
like
all the time.
right.
Yeah.
So, like,
Oh, he was really good in that.
everywhere. It's awesome.
He was. I actually watched Good Time recently too. He was really good in
That's
that
a
one
good
too.
one.
Yeah.
Mhm. Highlight.
And Lost City of Z. I know you guys haven't watched that
I
yet.
still need to watch that one.
Yeah, but it's
We'll
so
get to
good.
that.
He's probably one of my favorites in that one too.
Awesome, man.
But something we've all watched together. I really liked them in The Lighthouse.
Yeah, The Lighthouse. he was a little crazy,
Yeah.
but it was good.
Oh my God, Robert Pattinson in The Lighthouse and Willem Dafoe. Oh my God, that
Yeah.
movie is so.
You don't like my cooking?
Like I really don't see him as
The
just like
seagulls.
Edward anymore.
No,
Yeah.
no, yeah. People who since we kind of brought it up, like like comic book roles, comic book roles is such a high risk, but high reward kind of thing. Because you see Heath Ledger, like everyone's gonna compare you to someone else who did it before.
Yeah.
And
They even compared him to Jack Nicholson, and they're like,
Exactly.
"Oh, there's no way he's gonna top that."
So that's your high risk. But
Yeah.
if you go in and you do a solid job, high reward. Like once again, Heath Ledger like killed it. You know.
Yeah.
So I just keep hoping that Robert Pattinson's gonna like kill it, and I think this new property or like the new take this time with the new Batman film, I just have really high hopes.
Yeah.
The casting
Mhm.
is great. The costume looks great, and the Batmobile, like we talked about, looks amazing.
I don't know how far they want to go with Robert Pattinson, but I feel like he's at a good age where he can keep doing Batman for a while.
He's young, so
Yeah.
he has like if he has the demand, then he can be our Batman for a while. Yeah.
I mean, if anything, though, I'd rather just like see maybe 3 films. Like, I'm not saying I don't want more than that, but three is okay.
Yeah.
Like Christian Bale, I think he did the right amount. If he did
Right.
more than 3, I'd be like, maybe this is a little
Yeah,
much.
Just like give it to someone else now. Yeah,
Right.
I totally agree with that.
But like, if it ended at The Dark Knight too, I'd be kind of pissed.
yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I just hope we get to see I want to see Robin back in the movies.
Mhm.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, like since like this is kind of like a younger Batman and everything, I'm hoping that it's pretty obvious that they're trying different things that they weren't trying in the past like films. You never
Mhm,
know.
mhm.
Like after this movie, this is like his first like year or his first year, second year right now.
I think it's the
And-
second year, yeah.
Right, and then as like if we keep on going and he's a little bit more seasoned, we can see the whole process. Oh yeah, I laugh because I'm thinking about like there's a movie where he just going to an adoption center and he's like, I adopt you, and you're gonna be my Robin." But
Yeah.
yeah, a
That's how it
Robin,
works.
an on-screen
Well,
good.
it would actually be cool to see if this like the events of this movie inspire a Robin too, or maybe even like put into effect like the potential for a Robin, if that makes any sense. Who knows? But I'm assuming like they already have their hands full with like the abundance of characters that they're already working with.
Yeah, let's just finish this movie first.
Yeah. We haven't even gotten to see what Andy Serkis looks like as
I'm so excited.
as Alfred, right?
As
I don't think we
Alfred.
saw anything on screen yet.
That was my favorite casting choice. Andy Serkis
Yeah,
as
same.
Alfred, and I think Zoe Kravitz as Selena Kyle. I love those two casting choices
Yeah.
so much. They're just perfect. Like you guys see a little bit of Zoe Kravitz in the trailer, and she has like a very like makeshift Catwoman costume. And she just it's like her first few years too. She's just like a standard cat burglar.
You know what's funny too?
Looks
It actually
great.
looks a little bit similar to Christian Bale's first costume.
Yeah.
That was a nice little homage.
I love that. Oh my god.
It makes me
I'm getting so
kind of
hyped.
think, like if they're gonna keep Catwoman as like a character moving forward.
Hopefully.
That'd be cool. Like Catwoman is the love interest for Batman in the comics. It'd be so cool to see one where she transcends more than just, or she's in more than one film and gets to stay as like a love interest,
like a recurring character.
You see like the relationship like Bud, like in this first movie, like they meet, you know, like they don't really see eye to eye, but he's like, hey, she kind of cute though. And then like the next few
but she got a nice body though.
But she got a nice body though. So you just don't know. So fingers crossed. I love Zoe Kravitz. So yeah, man.
Do you think Selena Kyle is gonna play a big role though?
I mean,
because I don't know if this is like at a point where she's like out of the public spotlight. Because it would be really cool to see them meet as Bruce and Selena too.
Yeah,
I think for sure.
Oh man, this freaking camera is like screwing around right now.
It's whatever. It's alright. You still look good. But
pixelated.
I don't know. I just like it's hard to say because I don't know what they're gonna do with this like first story. You know, I don't know. Like I just feel like if you're gonna cast Zoe Kravitz, she has to play like. She has to like eventually play a big role. So I feel like they have a huge character arc planned for her at least. So only time will tell how that story unfolds. But
yeah, and she like never dies. So
exactly.
And you're introducing her in the first film. I could see her.
I could totally see that. Yeah. Speaking of characters, we have a lot of characters in this first film. Yeah. We have Colin Farrell's Penguin, who is unrecognizable, by the way. We got Paul Dano's Riddler, which I think is so awesome that they're using the Riddler as the main villain for this first movie. Like, I think that's perfect. Like, we need, like, he is such a classic Batman rogue villain. Like, we need something that's not Jim Carrey. The world needs to forget about the Jim Carrey Riddler. We need a good...
I like the more serious take on the Riddler.
Yeah, man.
I think it definitely challenges Batman in the right way to make an enjoyable experience as a viewer.
And like, and if you think about like, especially because this movie we all know is going to be more of like this detective noir take.
Yeah,
the Riddler is the perfect villain to parallel and be Batman's foil. Like he's the Riddler. He's gonna like put him through hoops and everything, and Batman has to use like,
test his IQ,
the bat noggin. to and the bat computer 50 coins 50 more and he has to like figure that out. So that is it's awesome.
Well, the cool thing too is way back when they just released like information on the movie, I think someone described it as grounded, and I love that so much because if you watch the trailer, I mean it's hard to say, but when you look at like the Nolan trilogy, right, there's a lot of scenes where it's like big cinematic like landscapes and like he's on the roof of some tower and you just see like the whole horizon and stuff. In this trailer, I don't think there was if maybe even one scene regarding that. It's all like grounded, it's people to people, like very close camera angles and everything like that. It's something we haven't really gotten to see besides like maybe a couple of scenes in like just like Batman v Supes. I think like the warehouse scene, that's just what screams like close quarters Batman to me.
Yeah.
But in this movie, it looks like they're doing a lot of that. So something to look forward to, I guess.
I think especially with his Batmobile, it's not like your extravagant big tank. It's just like a muscle car that he's done himself.
Yeah, very true.
Dude, looking sleek.
Yeah, but it looks awesome at the same time.
With like
sounds pretty good too.
Oh man.
And he has like a bike too, right?
Yeah, he has a bike. It's more of like a normal motorcycle.
Oh, it's like a bike with like a like a freaking bat helmet in front of it, or like a bat bat shaped like guard. It's funny. It's like, I need this motorcycle to be a Batmobile. Needs ears. Alfred. But
I can't. Oh man. You guys have any other thoughts on the trailer or that new movie?
Well, I hope Andy Serkis plays an Alfred similar to like Jeremy Irons, because I'm kind of tired of. I mean, we got like a little bit of like wise talking Alfred with like Michael Caine, but that wasn't like as comedic, you know? Yeah, Jeremy Irons, Michael Caine, or no, Jeremy Irons Alfred was awesome. I think all of like the little one-liners were like, it was really refreshing to hear, because I never imagined Alfred as like super old. Like the way I see him is he's like kind of young enough to still be able to like kick some ass if he had to,
Mm-hmm.
but not like too old where he's just like in the shadows the whole time, you know?
Yeah, I think Alfred's always been really good in every single Batman movie.
True.
I think so too.
We haven't seen a bad one yet.
I think so too. Yeah, and with Andy Serkis, I think I hope we get like it's you mentioned it, like a Alfred that's not so like brittle and
Right.
not so frail, I guess. Like
Mhm.
in a lot of incarnations of Alfred within the comic book like territory, like he has always been, or a lot of times he's described as an ex MI6
Yeah.
agent.
Yeah.
And I think Andy Serkis is at that perfect age where I can totally see, oh, this is the Alfred that is ex MI6 agent, and like he knows how to like kick some butt.
Dude,
Right.
I think that would work out a lot with like Batman being more of a detective too, because
Yeah.
then
Exactly.
like Alfred's gonna know so much stuff to
He
help
has
him out.
he has
Yeah.
that background. So I it would be so awesome. And since you mentioned Jeremy Irons is was one of my favorite parts about Bat v Soups. And you said it, like Jeremy Irons Alfred was almost like the tired dad. Like,
Yeah.
my son is always just going out like getting himself into messes. Like, so he's just over it. And I love that dynamic between Batfleck and Jeremy Irons Alfred. And I can see that a little bit with this new one, but we'll just have to see like how their relationship really is when the movie
Right.
does come out.
Son, you're so edgy, but you're my
Exactly.
son, so I'll take care of
Like,
you.
why are you wearing eyeliner, man? Like, you're so emo. That scene.
You know what else I kind of thought of though? It was a little bit of a missed opportunity in Batman Begins when he's on the roof. I think for the first time he gets like fear gassed by Scarecrow,
Oh, yeah.
and then he calls Alfred, right? And next thing you know, like it cuts to him like back at home or something, right? I wanted to see like a scene of Alfred having to climb to the top of the roof and get him. You know,
Get him,
like
yeah.
I was excited for that when he's like calling Alfred. I was like, ooh, we get to see him.
Nah.
Yeah,
Alfred
bring
comes
his.
out in another bat suit.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's just in.
yeah. He's in.
That is such a hilarious thought. And then like they actually filmed that, but they were like, no, this is stupid. So they
Yeah,
they put
they
it in
actually
the
got Michael
Blu-ray.
Caine to put on another bat suit.
Oh, man. He probably has a bat suit at home. And he's
Yeah.
like,
If
one
I was-
day.
If I was Batman, I would make a separate suit for Alfred. You know, just
Yeah,
in
you never
case.
know.
You never
You never
know,
know.
man.
Right.
You're Batman. You gotta be prepared for like anything. So backup.
I'm sure there's multiple suits in the Batcave.
but one that fits Alfred.
Probably.
I hope so. Yeah.
All right, so we're pretty excited for the future of Batman with Robert
Yes.
Pattinson. But let's take it back to the past. And from what I've seen, I haven't actually seen, the earliest
Mhm.
Batman has been on the silver screen since 1943. It was a black and white
Wow.
15-chapter serial starring Lewis Wilson as Batman.
Wow. I actually think I know what you're talking about. I think I was like reading like a Batman over the years article, and there was this like he has like really pointy ears, right? It's like this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's classic. But I've never seen it, so I can't say much about it.
Yeah,
Me
it was the
neither.
40s, and I mean, Batman just became a thing like just a few years ago before that.
Yeah. When was his first
true.
detective comic?
I do know too
Um,
Batman Day was actually on September 19th. So it literally just passed. And I know this year, 2020, is his 80th anniversary since his first appearance
Wow.
in Detective Comics. So 2020
so
minus
80
80.
years.
I don't want to
so
do the
40.
math.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
So 40.
yeah, exactly. Perfect. So yeah, wow.
Yeah. So it's
they,
probably 1940, like almost on the dot.
they had an on-screen appearance that fast after his like incarnation. That's crazy. Did not know that.
Wait, are you sure? Did you say on screen?
It was on screen,
Yeah.
right?
They
Yeah.
had
like
TV in 1940.
I mean, it was like
Go read a
black and
history
white and
book. That was during World War II. They had TVs, man.
They had TVs during World War II. I thought.
Yeah.
No, wait, that was World War One. The fireside chats.
Yeah.
But after that, the next significant one was Adam West.
Yeah.
in the
classic.
60s.
That was a big
And-
one because that one ran for a long time.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got
Adam West is pretty like iconic for being Batman.
Yeah. That's where we got the infamous shark repellent in the bat belt.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The
Oh yeah, we got a lot of stuff.
Shark repellent.
The bat everything.
The
Yeah,
bat
I love when
everything.
they're like climbing and it's obviously so fake, but you know they make it look real.
They try their best to make it real. Yeah.
Yeah,
The best part is, Batman's always known as like this serious character. He's broody and everything, but Adam West
Mhm.
Batman was so campy. But it was like
Yeah,
because of
way
like
too campy.
because of the times, like during those times
Right.
everything was campy on screen. But like, it's crazy to think that we had a long-running, super campy Batman show with shark repellents. Like, it's just, man, it's hilarious.
I kind of love that. I kind of wish
I love
we
that
kind of
too.
get a modern take on it. I would watch it.
Nah, fans nowadays would like just be so uptight about that. They're like, Batman doesn't do that, and all that, and just all that.
Nah, I want to bring it back. Any Batman fighting sharks.
Batman fighting. Hey, I'm on your side. We're on team. Bring campy Batman back. One for the kids. One for the kids.
Yeah. I'd also love when Adam West would pop up on like Fairly Odd Parents as Catman.
Catman.
I mean, he's obviously like the Batman character.
Yeah. That is so funny, right? Oh man. After Adam West, who took up the cowl?
After Adam West is in '89 with
89.
Michael Keaton.
Michael
and
Keaton.
There we go.
With the
Now we can
Batman.
talk about. Now we can start
Yeah.
talking. Michael
the
Keaton.
juicy
Batman.
stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Michael
Tim Burton directing and Jack Nicholson as the Joker.
Dude, that's one of my favorites. One of my favorite Batmans. For those who want to watch that, it is available on HBO Max. I don't know if you needed to add another streaming service to your probably long bill, but
I mean, you should have it though because Justice League is gonna come out on it.
Exactly.
So-
I mean, if you care about this DC stuff, like we totally recommend HBO Max. It's home to a lot of stuff, even like the new Harley Quinn animated show. Totally recommend
Mhm.
that. But yes,
La La Land's on it.
We're trying to get HBO sponsorship right now.
there
Yeah.
we go. Yeah. But yeah, you can watch Michael Keaton's the very first Batman on HBO Max, and I know that I just saw it recently, like relatively recently. I know Baron just saw it relatively.
I
Yeah, I
watched it
saw
recently,
it probably
too.
a month
Joanne
ago.
did too. We all did like our homework and kind of like caught up on that. And
Yeah.
let's just talk about like how different Michael Keaton's Batman is to kind of like Batmans that other people would know. Like,
Well, I was telling Jonah, I think I was talking to you about it, Jonah. There's the weird thing is he doesn't even try to hide his voice.
he doesn't.
Yeah, neither like does the Val Kilmer one. It's so
Yeah.
weird. If I was talking to him as Batman and then like Bruce Wayne came up and talked to me, I'd be like, dude, you're the same person.
Yeah.
But I guess back then like they didn't really consider that or they didn't think it was necessary
Yeah.
to maybe separate the two
I guess
identities.
Bruce Wayne didn't get out much back then.
Yeah.
I just kind of feel too that like it was a Tim Burton film, and I feel like he wasn't really, I guess, concerned with like realism.
Right.
Like
Oh,
Yeah, he's
definitely
very
not.
you know what I mean?
theatrical.
Of course,
Yeah.
right? So I think he didn't want to do like it's not he didn't want to do that, but I'm interpreting that he just didn't care for it. Like it wasn't a big concern.
Yeah.
Hence no bat voice. But that first movie, what I think Michael Keaton did really really well as Batman, and compared to like other Batman films, is that I feel like he really captured, I guess, like his not moral struggle, but kind of like the instability in like Bruce Wayne's character. Like I remember he was talking to Vicky Dale, and he was like
Vicky
trying
Vale?
Vicky Vale. I'm so sorry, but Vicky Vale. He was trying to tell her that like I'm Batman, and like he just couldn't get it out. He's like, look, I'm.
Sit down. I need to tell you something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like he was really nervous, and like it's just such a small detail, but I think Batman is such a complex character, so layered, and I
Yeah.
think each person who took up the cowl did a really good job at capturing one of them, and that was like a highlight of that movie. I love seeing how unstable, how insecure he kind of was. He wasn't
Yeah.
like this playboy, like I'm confident and everything. He was always just kind of like a little, like
Like you saw him struggling.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
He's a man
struggling.
that's struggling.
Yeah, I that's something that I really appreciated from Michael Keaton's take / Tim Burton's take, and Jack Nicholson did a great job as Joker. By the way,
Yeah, Jack was great.
How you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe.
I actually love the style that Tim Burton had for these movies because they're so theatrical and
Yes. Mm-hmm.
and it kind of makes it feel like a comic book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could even tell from just the way they set up each shot of like Gotham City, like the sweeping landscapes of just like skyscrapers on skyscrapers.
Yeah.
Like it really makes you feel like you're in the comic pages. Cuz it's not that kind of like you could have skyscrapers, but the surrealness to how like they portray the buildings, like the artistic approach, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it really feel like this is believable but slightly out of this world.
Yeah, I feel like it's like they're still in a city, but
Mhm.
like the aesthetics of like Gotham City was very like almost like someone drew it up. You know, it wasn't
Yeah.
just like a blatant copy of like Chicago or something, right?
They
Right.
focused on
Yeah.
making Gotham like its own character, which it should be too.
Very well put. Yeah.
I also want to point out the soundtrack because that soundtrack is like the Batman theme for that is so
Ooh.
iconic.
Yeah. Oh man, you know, a lot of scores from like movies during that time were so iconic. But yeah, like Batman, that soundtrack is the song escapes me, like how it goes, but I know how iconic it is.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, that's. I need to go buy that vinyl.
Yeah, I was just thinking that we need that on vinyl.
we do.
It's funny how he has to like his cowl. He can't turn his head,
Right.
So he has to move his
Yeah.
whole body. So every scene is like,
Yeah. Yeah, for people who didn't know that little like factoid about those films back then, the neck it was like super stiff. Oh, super stiff, and
Yeah.
like there was no flexibility in that cowl. So like Jonah perfectly demonstrated Alfred, Joker.
It's
No,
funny too because once you skip to like the Val Kilmer one, I was also talking to Jonah about this. The first I think interaction he has between what's her face and Commissioner Gordon. I think they're like here, right? So they're
Mhm.
not that far apart, but he's trying to talk to both of them at the same time. So he's talking to Commissioner Gordon here, and then she says something, and he's just like,
Yeah, we definitely got better suits for
Yeah.
for the actor and for the audience experience. Like I'm glad.
well, not
we
even,
went up.
not until like The Dark Knight.
Right, I know.
Yeah.
It's insane, right? But I mean,
yeah,
hey,
'cause in Batman Begins, I think he
It's
still
the same
had
style. Yeah, he couldn't
problems.
turn
it
his
was
head.
still really hard for Christian Bale to move in that
Right.
thing. Yeah.
It's
So-
crazy though
Mhm.
because I think I mean I'm sure it was like a directorial choice to keep that same kind of style because I'm sure Nolan considered it. He was probably like, we could definitely upgrade the suit. But it's a nice little homage, to the old ones to
Mhm.
see like a suit that wasn't as mobile, I guess.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see that transition though from like the old to the new.
Yeah.
Not only in like how the suit is made and everything, but like how it looks and everything. Like that costume and the suit that Michael Keaton wore in those movies, it was like, of course, a different aesthetic that totally belongs in that time frame, that
Yeah,
time period.
definitely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like now, like as time progressed, the suits got a lot more like modernized. And I
Mhm.
love, as a fan, you love seeing like, again, like the differences in the suit and how it changes.
Yeah.
And it's cool, very cool.
Even
Yeah.
like in the games, right? Seeing like the Arkham Knight suit for the first time, that was like
Yeah,
so
that's
brilliant.
That's a good suit.
And I'm so glad to see like its influence on Pattinson's suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks a lot like the Arkham Knight suit.
Yeah.
With all the
At least
armor
just like
plating.
the chest. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. Especially with the chest, you totally do see. it
But
with
we
that.
totally we skipped over the bat nipples. We got to talk about the bat nipples.
Okay, let's just breeze over the bat nipples. Val Kilmer bat nipples,
That's all you have to say. Bat nipple. That's
Yeah.
what George Clooney was.
and
Right.
oh yeah,
No, Kilmer had it. I think he had the nipples, but then in Clooney's, they just like ran with it and overaccented the nipples.
Yeah. Batman
And Robin also had a nipple.
Oh, they all did. And then surprisingly, they had the taste to not give Batgirl the nipples too, because I'm like, okay, like if you don't want to give it to her, why give it to the guys?
That would've,
Just don't have it at all.
That would have started something.
Exactly.
He had no nipple.
She had no nipples.
But going from Michael Keaton's Batman to eventually Val Kilmer's and George Clooney, like you can totally see Val Kilmer and George Clooney's like films were a lot more campier.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They were campier.
I mean, they also changed directors too.
Yeah, exactly. But like they went, there was that time where it's like, because here's the thing, you can say what like they're different actor, blah blah, but they were still kind of like trying to write off as like, oh, this is kind of like a continuation.
Yeah.
Like
Well, like every
Yes.
single freaking movie, like it was the same Commissioner Gordon, the same Alfred, right?
Exactly,
Even
yeah.
Robin was in 2 movies, but then they changed Batman's like every single time.
they changed Batman's
Yeah.
and the tone was totally different, but they were still like, no, it's the same
Yeah.
Batman. I'm like, BS, get out of here, man.
But the cool thing is too, like all jokes aside, I think I do appreciate each iteration of Batman. Like Val Kilmer's had, I think, I hate to say it, but I like Val Kilmer as Batman a lot, as opposed to like Keaton. Keaton did a great job, but for some reason I always looked at Kilmer and I'm like, kind of a Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, he was
Maybe
more
just in the
suave.
face, not with like the blonde hair, but definitely
He was
his
more
personality.
suave. I like that. Like they turned up the billionaire playboy like aspect for like
Right.
Val Kilmer's turn, I guess. And I did
But
like that.
going to sorry, you were saying?
Oh no, I was just gonna say I really quick that I also love those movies. No matter how much I roast it, like as a kid, come on, man. Like when it was
Yeah,
on TV,
they're fun to watch.
I watched it.
Yeah,
I loved
them
it.
too.
Well, actually, I didn't watch Batman Forever until like a couple weeks ago.
Mm.
But I really enjoyed Batman and Robin. But that's what I was going to talk about. The like the campiness aside, there's one scene in Batman and Robin that I really appreciate. It's when he's talking to Alfred about death, right? And he's like, Am I wrong for like trying to cheat death?
Mm.
Or he's like, am I wrong for like what I'm doing as Batman? And Alfred's like, no, because if you look at it this way, like what you went through as a kid was really traumatic, and what you're doing as Batman is your attempt to like control death. But then his response is, but I can't, right? And Alfred's like, no one can. However, at the end of the movie, he can because he shows his kindness to Mr. Freeze, and
Right.
through that, Mr. Freeze allows him to save Alfred's life. So in a way, he is controlling death.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's really cool. Yeah, and back to like during those movies, like they captured say what you will about whatever, but they captured a aspect of Batman's character that I really loved, and it's kind of like that, like philosophical struggle,
Yeah.
and
For all the campiness, I think they make up in like the moral dilemma that kind of is Batman.
that is Batman, right?
Yeah.
It was still there if you watch it close enough.
Mhm.
Right.
Well, transitioning from that era of Batman, we start getting
Ooh,
into
let's go.
the more serious, the
Let's
more grounded, the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogy with Christian
Everyone's
Bale.
favorite Batman. I mean, from like, I'm going to say
Okay.
it's a lot of people's favorite Batman, but
Yeah.
okay, yeah, come on, man. It's like he
I think
killed it.
Christian Bale really solidified Batman in
Oh, yeah.
cinematic
Right.
history with that trilogy.
It was groundbreaking, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like, you got so much out of that. Like a realistic iteration of Batman, on top of the fact that like he thought to do like a different voice as Batman
Mm-hmm.
compared to Bruce Wayne. Like that's really cool to see.
yeah, just leave it to Christopher Nolan to make Batman. And I think he had a hand in that. Like he had a hand in the superhero genre right there.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's no denying that. Mhm.
Yeah, especially with how well The Dark Knight was received.
Right.
Like just look at superhero movies now and you can't not look at The Dark Knight.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Like going off that, Christopher Nolan did for like the superhero like franchise and genre is that he took a comic book property, and I kind of feel like he showed to the world that like, hey, I know this is a comic book character, but it doesn't have to be like silly or like campy or like any of that stuff. Like it can be really complex, because at the end of the day, like what's Batman about? A person who is traumatized beyond like repair, lost his parents, and has so much emotion and hate inside that he needs to do something about it, right? He needs to go out and like take his city back and like all that. And with that, there is so much anguish like within. And I think Christopher Nolan like got that, and like the emergence of a superhero always leads to the emergence of like a villain, and that dynamic and everything.
Yeah.
And I think Christopher Nolan like knocked it out of the park. And that's what he did for, I think, like the franchise. I mean, or like the whole genre of superhero movies. He's a pioneer, man.
If you look at it as a trilogy too, I think I was gonna say each one tops the other. It's hard to say that Dark Knight Rises is the best one though, but I would say if you're talking about villains, I think each one represents a different struggle that he's facing through the movie. Like, I'll just skip Ra's al Ghul, but I'll talk about the Joker.
Right.
Like the Joker presented,
Scarecrow. He kind of represented fear.
Yeah, that was cool. Of course, Scarecrow's the first villain. That was nice to see.
That was a perfect first villain.
But with the Joker, so the Joker presented an issue where, like they're desperate. You know, he's as Batman is actually turning things around, and he's presenting a very significant problem to like the criminal underworld. And Joker is someone that steps in and says, I don't care about the rules, you know, I'll get it done. I can solve all your problems. Which we find out, obviously, that he's lying, and he's just trying to, you know, play them all for fools. But then you look at Bane, right? And Bane, as a villain, has always been, like, just a macho, you know, macho man, doesn't do anything but punch stuff. Yeah. But I like how in this one, he's kind of a strategist.
Yeah.
And he takes his time to learn how Batman has operated, because it's no easy feat. Like at the end of The Dark Knight, he's actually cleaned up the streets of Gotham. Like there's almost no more criminal underworld. And Bane comes in knowing that there is no easy price to pay for achieving that. Gotham was one of like the most horrible places to live, like highest crime rate, and now it's like a clean streets. And Bane steps in knowing that I can bring this whole thing down like really easily, and physically as well. You know, breaking his back and all that.
Yeah, he broke the bat.
Yeah, he broke the bat.
Yeah, but yeah, man. Yeah, like, you know, you say all that stuff, and Christopher, like, what it just really reminds me is Christopher Nolan. He totally like pushed in more socioeconomic like dilemmas and like political stuff. He's made his Bat-verse, Bat world that he kind of created for the Dark Knight trilogy. It was just like so vast, and it wasn't just like singular problems like, oh, like, you know, Bat has to fight a guy, but it's like there's crime and like dealing with crime, and like the
like there's
using
weight
that
to all these actions, like everyone's actions.
Right. True. Which is funny that you said that, because Batman's first return in The Dark Knight Rises essentially lets Bane escape because of the fact that everyone has been dying to bring this criminal to justice for Harvey Dent. You know, that alone just restructures the balance of Gotham City just on his own appearance alone.
So although Batman's or Christian Bale, the Dark Knight trilogy is kind of ruined now, at least for me, by the memes and the Bat voice and Pete Holmes.
We gotta talk about the next live action Batman. It's Pete Holmes.
We're all fans of Pete Holmes. Pete Holmes over here.
Yeah,
like
Pete Holmes the homie.
Pete Holmes the homie. Well said.
I think, if anything, Christian Bale did a great job as Batman, but Pete Holmes really solidified the Nolan Batman in my brain.
At least for us, right?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
That was a time. At the peak of the whole like Nolan trilogy and everything, that's when like the Pete Holmes content was really rolling, and oh my god, that was like the best, some of the best years of my life when that was everywhere, all the memes and all the like making fun of the Batman voice. It's just good stuff.
I don't know. I think we've already talked about this, but where were the other drugs going?
There you
Yeah.
go, dude. What, they don't like falafel?
He's
I
like, oh,
love
you really
that.
like this one? Yeah, it's really good. I swear. Swear to me.
No, we have to link these, like, the viewers, the Pete Holmes videos, because we just keep bringing it up, and
Like,
some
I
you
feel
haven't
like we
watched
could do a
them.
whole episode on just the Pete Holmes videos.
But it's a good segue because there's one Pete Holmes video where he's like he has a gun. And then he's like shooting everyone. And they're like, I thought you don't kill. And he was like, this is a gun?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
well, that's a really good segue into
sleeping.
great
He's like,
stuff.
what you did to Mr. Fishy, you did to these men. I overfed these men.
But what the Nolan films did such a great job on, and another thing that I think Nolan captured in terms of Batman's character is his number one rule of not killing. Like that was
Yeah.
brought to the forefront in this trilogy. Like you watch the Man Keaton movies, I don't care what anyone says, he straight up murdered some people. You know?
Yeah, there's like a whole warehouse that he blew up.
Dude, like I don't know if you can get away with that, but especially for the Nolan movies, like Joker and this is I just can't talk right now.
Antithesis.
Yeah, I just can't talk right now. But to Batman and wanting to push him over the edge, and
Yeah.
Batman like struggling but still keeping to his one rule, like like I do not kill and everything. And that's like something that I love from the Nolan movies that is so Batman. And plus, like Christian Bale played a great playboy Bruce Wayne. It was the first time we got like kind of like I'm gonna say it like a douchey Bruce Wayne,
Yeah.
But that's kind of like part of his
that
character
douche
too.
can't be Batman.
Exactly. He's a douche. Like he's not fighting crime. He probably doesn't even care about us. But
That's actually one critique I can make about the Nolan universe, though, is I didn't love the Bruce Wayne. Like, I understand there's more of like a realistic aspect to it. Because, okay, actually, I just thought about it. Maybe what I was gonna say was I didn't like how Bruce Wayne wasn't like a genius strategist, high IQ, like combat leader or whatever, right? But if you
He
think
wasn't a
about it,
detective.
he wasn't. I was gonna say like I really wanted to see that, but now that I think about it, the fact that no one really based his universe in like realism, coming from his upbringing, there wouldn't be any reason why he would be like incredibly smart. Like he did go to school and everything, he studied, but that wouldn't really come naturally, I think.
yeah, like no one's denying that he's sharp. Like I think
Yeah.
that Bruce Wayne was sharp, but I think he wasn't like that gadget inventing genius that's
Right.
incorporated in the comics.
Or
Like,
even then, like I think if I had to boil it down to one scene that I guess exemplifies this critique, I would say it's the freaking scene where he's trying to get into the tower in China, and then they're using that device, right?
yeah.
And Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne is like, "Oh, it's using sound waves, like," and then freaking, and then he's like
Say
a
it,
bat.
say it.
He's like
Like a bat.
sonar, like a bat. And I'm like, how do you not fucking know what sonar is, bro? Like,
I'm like, you're Batman.
yeah, that's like,
No, I
okay,
totally
an average
get that.
person knows what sonar is, but like, you're
Exactly.
freaking Bruce Wayne,
If
and
he
you're
didn't
Batman.
have Lucius Fox, man, he would just be dead.
No,
Yeah,
exactly.
he'd be-
Who would make all those gadgets, man? Alfred.
If he didn't have Lucius Fox, he'd probably be crime fighting in like a freaking hoodie and like some sweatpants.
Dude, exactly, man. Lucius Fox was just as Batman as Batman in that
Yeah.
universe. Like, come on, he contributed so much.
Right.
Yeah, shout out to Lucius Fox. But then you said you wanted to mention something, Jonah, but it totally escapes me.
Oh yeah. I just wanted to mention how quotable The Dark Knight Rises is.
Yeah.
Because like I think we're always quoting that movie,
Yeah.
especially the scene where Batman is firstly fighting Bane in like the sewers,
Yeah.
and he's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"You think darkness is your ally?"
ally.
Dude, that is so good. Did I ever tell you that you do a really good Bane impression?
Me, I think Baron does a good.
No,
one.
Baron does a good one too. Yeah,
No way, dude.
No, you.
Wait,
you do a
okay.
good
How
one.
are we gonna both say the line? You say the line
All
first.
right,
Jonah.
all right, both of you.
No, I
say
just
it.
did it. You do it.
Do,
All right.
do it for the viewers.
You think darkness is your ally?
Oh, that is so good.
I was born in it, molded by it,
There you go.
I
Wombo
didn't see the
combo.
light until I was.
already a man.
There
By
you
that
go.
time, it was nothing to me but blinding. And then he chokes him.
No, I go back and forth between the actual Bane Tom Hardy voice
Yeah.
and the Pete Holmes Bane.
yeah. yeah.
So I don't know.
Good stuff. That's good stuff.
When he's like, A is for Alfred, and then Bane's like, oh my god, or something.
All right, enough of that guy.
Yeah, but dialogue was great though. Like,
Yeah.
no,
Thank you,
Dark Knight
thank you,
Rises.
thank
Like we make fun of it, but it's like, man, it was so well written. Like Bane's character was so well written, and
Right.
his dialogue, and Tom Hardy crushed that. He broke the bat.
Well, the
But,
funny thing is, watching the movie, I was like, oh, this is a good Bane voice. You know, it's kind of serious, makes sense. But after hearing the Pete Holmes like
I know. Yeah.
comedy, like making fun of him, I'm just like, yo, this voice is kind of stupid. Like, it doesn't make sense.
It's stupid now. Batman's voice, like Christian
Yeah.
Bale's voice, is stupid now. You know, at the time it wasn't as stupid, but
Right.
Actually,
that's the nature of our
I remember
meme
watching
generation.
it in theaters, and then I was like, I don't know what he's saying. He just sounds
Yeah,
like
yeah.
this.
Without the freaking subtitles, after like watching it on like DVD or something, I was just like, half the movie, I'm just supposed to pretend like he's saying something really
Right.
intimidating.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, finally we get to the latest iteration of Batman, and that's Ben Affleck with Zack Snyder
Hell yeah.
and the Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, Justice League, a little bit of Suicide Squad.
Oh, that was a good scene though too.
That was a
The
good scene.
Suicide Squad scene was
That was
nice.
a good scene, and the eventual Snyder
Actually,
cut.
both the scenes were nice.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
My take, I think visually they did great, and if you try to be open about it and think about it as like a contained Elseworld story, it's a cool take on Batman.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Visually
cool,
and
yeah.
aesthetically, it was perfect, like straight
Yeah.
out of comic books.
Straight out of the comic books.
Straight out of Compton.
But what I couldn't get over was the fact that he was just okay with killing people now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know he's like old and it's supposed to be like Dark Knight Returns inspired.
Mhm.
Not really though.
Well, kind of for like
Yeah.
the
Like
older
vaguely,
Batman.
but he doesn't kill in Dark Knight Returns.
Well,
Well, he's a lot more brutal, a
Yeah.
lot more savage, and sometimes he kind of crosses that boundary
like-
where he almost kills, but he's like,
Yeah, but he doesn't do it.
yeah, exactly. I know, like
but
Zack Snyder's
his
pushed
suit,
it.
and then his armored suit.
right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, straight up Frank Miller right there. Yeah, but
And Suicide
Mhm.
Squad and Justice League.
okay, let's just stick to Batman. You know, because like there's so many stuff that's not always positive to say about Suicide Squad and,
Yeah.
And blah blah. But I think just focusing on Batman alone, the first time we saw Batman v Superman, I thought that was really awesome. First of all, because you got to see Superman and Batman on one screen for the very first time. Like that was movie history.
Yeah.
And like Jonah said, Ben Affleck's Batman was such a refreshing thing again. I love that they went for something really different. They went for the seasoned
Right.
veteran Batman. And another thing that he captured in this film that I thought was like awesome is like how brutal Batman can be. You know,
Mhm.
like he is like very much a hero that's almost like that lives in the shadows. Like he's like you can almost kind of see him as like a villain if you didn't know, but he kind of like fights for good, but he uses like yeah, like the blah blah. But he was so brutal in Batman v Superman and just like really gave it to all the bad guys and everything. But also
Yeah.
they showed off his intellect. Like I love the sequence in Batman v Superman where he's creating the kryptonite spear, and you see
Oh,
that
yeah.
process, and I just love seeing that because that's something since like we mentioned that we didn't really get in the Nolan movies, and I love that we got to see him like getting gritty and just like,
Yeah, like inventing
making
stuff.
that inventing stuff, and then him training, him pulling the big tire. Dude, that was
Yeah.
crazy.
That was like
he
in
was
a lot of the promos.
yeah, it was. But I love how buff he was. Like he was huge,
Yeah.
dude. And
He was
I like
almost
that,
as big, or if not bigger, than Henry Cavill.
dude. Yeah. No,
No,
yeah.
he was bigger.
He was bigger, dude.
Oh yeah, he was definitely.
He was massive.
But him for Batman to be able to like be that strong, like at that age, like he needed to be that strong to fight against like all the bad guys, you know,
Exactly,
especially with the Justice League verse Like, there's no way he could stand up to anyone.
Exactly, yeah. And also, like, since this was like a seasoned Batman, you kind of like, it's kind of left to interpretation that he's fought his rogue gallery over the years. Like, he's fought Joker, he's lost a Robin to the Joker, he's probably like fought a Bane, got broken and everything. Like he had to be like insanely intimidating. And like I think out of all the Batmans, Ben Affleck's Batman was really intimidating. Like, there's that scene in the opening sequence of Batman Superman where he's in the corner. Man, come on.
I love that.
That was awesome. Like, I think about that a lot. And, like, the movie, sad things happened to that movie, but there are so many cool things that you can write about Ben Affleck's, like, take on the Batman.
Yeah, I thought he was great.
Also, I'd like to take this moment to apologize to the viewers because of this freaking app.
It's a-okay.
Yeah, well, iOS 14 is creating a lot of problems for me.
I'm sure for everyone too. You're forgiven, sir.
But yeah, back to Batfleck. Even ignoring Batfleck, like Alfred was a really refreshing take.
Yes,
because he was like we said before, he was more of like a dad. Yeah, like Michael Caine's kind of a dad, but he's more of like just kind of there. I don't know.
No, I think he cared a lot. No, Michael Caine was like very dad-like too. I just think there's different dads. One's more of a sarcastic dad, and Michael Caine he loved like Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne, like he did, and there was a lot of heart to him, or to his character and their relationship that I loved. But yeah, Jeremy Irons was a lot more snappy, sarcastic, like
not for lack of trying.
Exactly, and it was refreshing, like. Especially after the Nolan movies, like if you're gonna do Batman again, you gotta make a difference. So I appreciate that direction at least.
I mean, putting up with Batman over the years, you kind of probably just get tired of him.
Yeah,
exactly. Come on, just think about that.
It's like in year one, like Jeremy Irons' Alfred was probably like, "Yes, Master Wayne," and then in this one, he's just like, "Whatever, dude. Like, I don't care."
Yeah, I mean, if you died in that, I'm probably not gonna pick you up.
Yeah, if you died in that, I'm gonna have like a glass of wine, bro.
It's just Alfred would do that. The fever, the rage that turns good to men.
Oh man, hearing that line in the trailer for the first time, that was amazing.
That was my favorite line. Yeah. You guys already know that was my favorite line in that movie. I quote to this day.
Yeah, that's something we still
It's dope. Yeah. What else can we say?
I like the take on. There's always a new take on the Batmobile, the Batwing. Did they call it the Batwing in that one? I don't know.
I don't think they mentioned it by name.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought it was sick.
Yeah.
Especially like, it had like guns on it and stuff.
Thank you for that very detailed description.
Yeah.
But no, it's Batmobile, dude. Like when that Batmobile came out, like it was so sick because it reminded me of the Michael Keaton Batman mixed in with the tanky aspects of the
I actually
Nolan
thought it was
Batmobile.
very Arkham Knight, Arkham Origins.
Yeah, yes, it was totally that too. But like on top of that, like just basing on like cinematic appearances, I was like, it's like the shape and silhouette of the Tim Burton one, which is very comic book accurate.
Right.
But they added like the militaristic like cannons and armor plating of like the tank, essentially.
Of the tumbler?
The tumbler of the Nolan films. That was crazy. I love that too.
What else about Ben Affleck? I don't know. I guess we're gonna be seeing maybe a new Ben Affleck in the reshot Justice League movie.
Right, yeah.
Right.
I guess
and with
still
Flashpoint coming up, they've been teasing a lot of appearances too.
Yeah. Like they're trying to like bring multiple Batmans into like.
There's supposed to be 3 Batman.
Yeah.
Appearances in Flashpoint, which is gonna be crazy.
Hey, it'd be interesting. I'm like for it.
I think it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope they do it justice.
League. We all said it. So since we talked about the Snyder Cut and everything, like recent movie news, Zack Snyder did plan to do some additional reshoots or additional shots for the film that's becoming a 4-hour like miniseries, like between like spread out through over 4 episodes. Which
is it really?
It is. I actually am so for that. I think that's perfect because if you're gonna do something this grand, Like it
Yeah.
can't be
I
contained.
mean, I'm also assuming there's a lot of footage that he wanted to use too.
right. Yeah. But
Kind
like
of forcing us into like a 4-hour movie would be a really bad decision.
exact. I like it, and like the more I hear about it, the more I'm getting a little bit more optimistic. But again, like I'm not gonna like get my hopes too high. Well, we'll just
Yeah.
see. But we're all gonna see it no matter what, right? So yeah, but yeah, he is gonna make some new shoots, and it's awesome because like the entire cast is returning. Like Gal Gadot is said she's gonna return for those reshoots. Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck, and they're gonna do a lot of new footage for Ray Fisher's Cyborg.
Cool.
So on the topic of Ben Affleck, we have talked about like the eventual Snyder cut, and Batman in Justice League was not Batman.
No.
That was not Batman.
I think that was my least favorite, or the one I hate the most. Like
Yes.
iteration of Batman. Like
Yeah.
that's just
I take Bat
terrible.
Nipples over that
Yeah.
Batman
Yeah.
over Justice League
Guaranteed.
Batman. He was just cracking jokes and everything, and like I'm not gonna blame anyone. Like it's probably a studio thing.
No,
But,
it's definitely. I mean, it could have been like a Joss thing too.
Yeah, Jaws studio thing, but I'm just thankful that however it's gonna be, Zack Snyder's gonna finally like give us the Batman that he was planning. And from the Bat v Soups movie, we have the whole nightmare sequence and everything. Like I want to see more of Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
So here's to kind of like changing our opinions over Ben Affleck after we watch this Snyder cut, which is really truly exciting.
We're hopeful for the future of Batman.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And if it sucks, then we got Robert Pattinson. So
Yeah.
we got a backup.
And if he sucks, then I'm not a DC fan anymore.
No, then we'll give it 2 years and they'll try again with
I'm sure.
they'll try again. They'll give it to
They're gonna bring Christian back.
They're gonna bring Christian back.
It'll be Tom Holland.
Oh no, he can't.
I don't know.
Who knows what's next for Batman, but going over the years and everything, like it was really interesting to see like how all the Batmans differed and how each specific one kind of like offered something that maybe like another Batman didn't offer.
Yeah.
And like rounding back full circle to Robert Pattinson, I think we're finally gonna get the detective Batman, and that is amazing news. Like let's go. Like I want to see him sleuthing and figuring out the riddles, and like for God's sake, he is the world's greatest detective. Like give me a movie where he is detectiving, So
Yeah.
I am
Come on,
so,
He's
so pumped.
detecting?
Detective Comics.
Detective
Oh, yeah.
thing. So
As long as he doesn't like act like Christian Bale, Bruce Wayne, I'll just be fine with that. Like if he's like trying to solve a riddle and it's obviously like a little too hard for him, I'm gonna be really pissed. If he has to ask Alfred for help.
Yeah. Andy Serkis. Oh, I mean Alfred.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, well, so I said that backwards, but that's all we have for Batman throughout cinema. I hope you've enjoyed our little spiel on Batman and all of the various actors that's portrayed him. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching Delirium Hour. If you liked today's episode, we'd really appreciate it if you press that like button and subscribe to us. Our upload schedule has been a little bit weird lately. But if you press that bell icon, you should be notified whenever we upload. And leave us a comment about like who's your favorite Batman or what was your favorite Batman movie. Also follow us on Instagram because we're posting different content there and it's something we're excited about.
It's been fun
That's,
for us. Yeah.
It's Delirium Hour.
It is Delirium.
And I just want to say one last thing. Batman, his 80th anniversary just passed. He is he's
80 years old.
He's 80 years old, but more than that, he is a character that's embedded into our culture, and he's here to stay. And no matter how many films we get of him, and whatever we say, and like roast him, we'll always look forward to the next Batman thing. So look forward to Batman, and I almost want to congratulate Batman himself. So
Give it up for Batman.
Give it up for Batman. Traumatized Bat Boy.
I was once a boy. Now I'm a bat.
Now I'm a bat. All right.
All right.
Well,
Later,
thanks for
y'all.
joining us, guys.
Later, guys. Till the next episode.
This was Delirium.